So did you already have this envisioned, like to do a podcast?
You know, yes and no. It's weird because a lot of times with things like this, I have like glimmers in my head of something. It's not even a concrete idea, but I'll just give you an example. Dude, like before I ever started doing content, like fitness content, like I'll say 5-6 years ago now, like a year before I got started, I remember laying down in bed and just having a vision in my head of me doing bicep curls, like real intense with neon lights above me. I didn't set out to make this place necessarily like that, but
flash of an idea.
Yes, but it just popped into my head. You know, you have some kind of a premonition or something. I don't know, but it's just funny how it's unfolded to be that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I set my goal of, oh, I'm gonna make that vision of what I had when I was laying in bed years ago. It just sort of evolved that way, and here we freaking are, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
It's more than I expected. Here, like,
well, thank you. Thank you very much, man.
This is like way better than what I usually do.
Well, well, hopefully we'll start raising the standards, man.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude. That's what I've always tried to do. Just raise the standards of whatever I'm doing. So, yeah, man, let's just keep it going, bro.
Yeah, and like Jackson was saying, your camera guy that helped us set this up, that he said Jesus had spoken to him and told him to spend all his money on podcast equipment.
Yeah,
he didn't know why.
He said that he's really convicted that that's the case, and he does it, and it's just pretty cool how it's worked out for him to be so. I mean, I wasn't planning on him being here today.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was, actually I was planning on him being here today. I thought that you were going to be here yesterday. And so the fact, that's why I called you.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he shows up, it just worked out perfectly, you know, so hey, it is what it is, man.
So when you got into, before you got into fitness, did you have any like premonitions when you were really young, or a first moment that was like, I love the feeling of pumping iron, or like what started?
What started me just working out?
Working out,
Dude,
first.
I was a chubby kid, man.
All your childhood?
Well, for a lot of it, dude. I remember being like 13 years old and just being dissatisfied with how I looked, because I was a little chubby. I was athletic. I played football, but I just remember going, I gotta do something. I can't just sit around and play, you know, Oblivion all day long. You know, I can't just sit around and play my Xbox and just do nothing. I got to do something.
Yeah.
And so I remember trying to go out and just run, and I'm like this fat 13-year-old kid just trying to run down his street. And I would stick to it for like 2 or 3 days at a time, and then I would fall off.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have that guilt sort of set in. And so that's what a lot of people face. But I had that occur with me really, really young. And so I always had this like mild disappointment with myself. And you gotta not be lazy. Like I had to push through. Like that was that driving force. And as I got older and started playing football more seriously, like in high school, I got introduced to the weight room and through my stepdad. And that's really when I started to fall in love with it, because running wasn't my thing.
Right.
So I didn't stick to it. But when I got introduced to weightlifting and specifically getting stronger, like bench press, that is just when it took off. I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And so that was my introduction for it. I didn't necessarily have any plans. I just wanted to go in and be the strongest kid on the football team. That was my goal.
Nice.
So, yeah, man.
And so did you get, so I'm gonna refer to a really funny clip that I've seen about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe you know about it.
Is it the pump?
Yeah, like I am coming all the time.
Yeah. No.
So, like, you don't get that when you're pumping?
No, not really.
Apparently that's a thing amongst...
It is. A lot of people do set out to get a pump in the gym, and I've had, massive pumps before. It's just something that you're going to experience, but it's number one, it's really not something that you need to be doing in order to build muscle. You shouldn't be trying to get a pump. That's not the best thing for building muscle, but it's a thing. Some people aim for it in their training because they really like it, because it looks cool. Like you look really big in the mirror at the time that a pump occurs, but No, that was never really a driving force for me. Mainly for me, man, it was getting stronger. That was my first passion. The muscle and being big was folded in there, but that was just more of like a byproduct for me. And then eventually I started taking strength training way more seriously, and that's when I got into strongman.
Strongman.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you.
Yeah, because Ryan, your cousin, hit me up online and wanted to start training, and we were the only place to do strongman in South Florida, pretty much. And so that's how I met him, man.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
And that, would you say strongman was kind of your calling, or, because now you're not really a strongman.
So it's interesting, yes. A strongman was my calling, dude, at that time. My calling then is not my calling now. There's a global calling in life, for sure, that we all feel like you're drawn to music. Like, you've always been drawn to music, I'm sure. But the type of music that you're doing right now might not necessarily have been what first was pulling you into the music realm. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But for me, it was this calling. No, number one, I didn't have anything going on in my life. Okay, like, so that's first and foremost. Like I didn't have anything, so you got to have something, pull you out of that. And for me, it was strongman. And I was kind of in this position where I didn't have any goals, and I wanted one so badly. Okay. Like I just desired it, dude. And I remember finally figuring out that I wanted to do strongman, and it called me towards it, right? I wanted to be the world's strongest man. That was my goal. And I said, I can do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm gonna set out on this path. And I went for it as hard as I possibly could. Now, I got extremely far, like very close to being world's strongest man in the grand scheme, okay? From being nobody in the strength world, if world's strongest man is here, I got like right here, okay?
Yeah.
But in that journey, I realized that, you know what, that's not what I want to do. I want to go over here and do this.
I see what you're saying.
And so it's like, so strongman was my calling at the time, but now I wouldn't be where I'm at with my current goal had I not set out with that first initial goal.
Yeah, it was necessary to
you have
find
to,
your path there.
You have to go for something in order to know where you need to go next, And that's what dictates it, because you're not going to know, you're not going to have the necessary information. Like, I couldn't have set out at that beginning moment saying, I'm going to be a fitness influencer.
Right.
Because they didn't really exist at that time. Not really.
Right.
Fitness influencing what it is now wasn't a thing. So I couldn't have had that be the goal.
Yeah.
It was only because I was positioned where I was at the time based on my first goal that I was able to change to what I'm doing now. And it'll continue to happen.
Yeah, and it's good that when you made that change, you didn't do it from a negative place. And what I'm getting at is, a lot of people might be really disappointed. They set this goal to be the ultimate strongman, and I never did it. And then they like wallow in that feeling, which is the wrong thing to do. But
well, of course, dude. Because
the way you handle it is better.
But dude, because like literally, if you give your best, which I can die, knowing that I truly gave my best effort, 100%. Like I know I did. I was there. I have, and it didn't work out. I have no regret. It played out the way that it was supposed to. Now, if I would have just kind of messed around, and I didn't make it, well then, I mean, did my life really go the way it was supposed to?
Yeah.
No, maybe not. I don't know. But that's my sort of my modus operandi. Just do your best with whatever's in front of you right now, and whatever happens is the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Even if you don't know if that's what you're supposed to be doing yet.
Yeah, right.
Necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well, dude, perfect example. This is what I say to everybody, man. Like, dude, if you're at a job or flipping burgers, at a Wendy's or something, and you don't really want to be there, you should still do your absolute best at that. Like, do your best at that thing, because that's what has been put in front of you.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. You do your best in that, it could then lead you to the next thing. You know, I mean, look, if you do your best, flipping them burgers, and then all of a sudden, the manager says, hey, I don't know if you know this, but like I'm leaving, right? Like I'm out of here. And I was looking for somebody to take my managerial position, and you're the guy. You do the best here. Well, now you're like, whoa, I manage this Wendy's, right? Yeah. Well, it could lead to something else in the future.
More, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You could then get maybe a regional manager. Because, you know, then because you're so passionate about that first thing, but it started with what was in front of you, something that wasn't glamorous, that you didn't really necessarily feel like you were supposed. I had so much stuff, dude, that I didn't feel like I was supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't. But
no, that's good. And generally, I like to think that the right people take notice of that drive. And I think you'll agree with me when I say I much prefer passion and effort than raw talent. You know, because there's so many talented people that are lazy. So
man.
It's like, I'd much rather take a less talented person, but so driven that I know they'll give it their all.
Well, so how does what does that look like in, you know, it's pretty obvious the way it would express itself in my world. You know, you can be real muscular, just, you know, some people are just built more muscular naturally. They don't have to work as hard, but somebody who isn't necessarily that muscular can outwork that person and get bigger and stronger. What does that look like in the world of music and production and so forth?
In many different aspects, it works very similarly. Like this one guitarist that I know, I'm friends with him. I made a few songs with him. He's actually Shakira's tour guitarist.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And one thing that stuck with me that he said was like, I was really bad at keeping rhythm, music. Like, I was one of those people that felt like this maybe isn't my thing because I'm so bad at it. And he said he just worked at it so hard that he went from somebody that was very, you know, uncoordinated to now he's, you know, he's at that elite level.
Dude, have you seen the movie Whiplash?
No.
And your music, oh my gosh. All right, so look, I've got a Netflix subscription. I never use it. I have used it probably like 5 times over the past 3 years, right? Because I go on there, I search, there ain't anything, I get frustrated, I leave, okay? And most of the time when I find something to watch, it ain't that good anyways. But anyways, there's this one movie, Whiplash. Absolutely, if anybody's watching it, go watch the movie Whiplash. It describes the drive of somebody who wants to be the best at what it is that has been put in front of them, a passion. It's about this drummer.
Is it new? Modern movie?
No, it was 2017 or 18, I believe.
Modern.
It's got the guy from, he was in Spider-Man, he was the head of the newspaper. What's his name?
Like the original Spider-Man?
Yeah, like, that guy, right? He's in it. And anyways, the movie is so good because it shows this kid who's talented. And there are other kids who are drummers that are talented that are trying to be a part of this orchestra. And it shows how this kid is kind of competing with these others that they want it. Like they want it and they're working hard to get on this orchestra, right? Actually make the, you know, the cut, because it's cutthroat. Yeah. And it shows how this young man dedicates himself and goes the extra mile to overcome the people who are more talented than he. And it's unbelievable. One of the best movies I've seen. I've never seen a movie that so accurately depicts what goes on inside when you are in the pursuit of greatness. I'm serious. Like, I'm getting chills. You got me right. I've got goosebumps right now. I'm telling you, dude.
I gotta watch this.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. So yeah, the movie Whiplash, you should go watch it. Yeah. Phenomenal example of that.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to go back to like the music world, talent versus skill. I also like to compare it even to athletes. Mm-hmm. Like in all avenues of career goals, it is generally the most hardworking people that excel. Mm-hmm. There are millions of talented people. Right. So for example, like Messi in soccer, I believe what really makes him good is not his raw talent. It's his IQ level and the drive. Like he probably trains religiously.
How seriously he takes it.
You know, how seriously. And I think this is personal opinion, he's perhaps at the same level physically to all the other professional athletes that he plays with, that he performs with.
Right.
But it's who puts in more hours in the gym.
Oh yeah.
Ultimately. And LeBron James says that too. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan,
Well,
all
dude,
those people.
Dude,
It's just
it is
working.
It's transcendent across all walks of life.
Exactly.
It is. It's transcendent. It's a common theme. Weightlifting in the gym is just a different expression of it. It's a raw, pretty primal expression of it. It's physicality, building muscle. It is no different between me wanting to be the best strongman in the world when I was trying to be the best strongman in the world, or when I'm trying to be the best fitness influencer that I can be, okay, making the most badass videos, whatever. It's no different in that form than watching Elon Musk or Mark Cuban operate their business. It's the same drive. It's the same drive. That's why I can read a quote from a great business leader, CEO, and I know what frequency they're on. It's because it's the same thing that Michael Jordan was saying.
Yeah.
It's the
such
same.
a
It's the
correlation.
same thing. You have to have. It's just. You just have to have it, man. You have to have. It's a level of desire that I think everybody is capable of. It's a hunger. Everybody's capable of, but I think a lot of times people get distracted from taking that energy and putting it into something that they could have a real traction in.
Yeah.
And they get lost on their phone doing scrolling.
Yeah, and
See what I'm
the
saying?
ability to maintain that feeling. You know, like sometimes, I'm sure everybody goes through this, you get a sudden burst of motivation. You're like, yeah, wow, today I'm gonna work this and that and do all that. You do that for a week and then you run out of steam. And then it's like, the true people that excel are the ones that are able to maintain and just discipline themselves.
It is. Well, see, also, you have to have, it's the discipline, it's a big thing, but it's also how compelling your vision is. You know, if your vision is just something like, okay, I want to make some money, okay, that's a sort of vision, but it's not really well defined. Okay, it's the same thing as, okay, well, I want to lose some weight. That doesn't, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Okay, was that a pound? Is it 2? Or does that mean, no, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds and I'm gonna get off my butt and I'm going to start walking every day and I'm going to look like this guy on Instagram and that's what I'm going to do, come hell nor high water, that's what it is. It becomes personal to you, it becomes real because you can see it and you know where you're going and you're much more likely to stick to it. If you're just leaving it ambiguous and just nebulous and just sort of whatever, okay, you can make some progress and you can move in that direction because you kind of know where you're supposed to go. But once the going gets tough, you don't have anything to cling to. You don't have a vision, so you have got to have the vision. That's what
Vision.
you have to.
Yeah.
You know, clearly defined. Super important.
Speaking of that, that's a good segue into what is Davis Diley's future vision entail? What do you see happening?
Oh, podcasting.
Going towards that? This is the start of that, I
well,
guess.
dude, seriously, who knows, man? No, really. I mean, think about it, dude. It could be. I've always loved radio. I've loved talk radio my whole life. I just listened to it for years. Every day it was a part of my day. I had some people that I used to listen to all the time, but you know, I've kind of moved away from that and just, you know, more into, you know, podcasts now. But anyways, for me right now, actually, funny you ask me what my vision is because I actually just was talking to somebody about that today and nobody's asked me that in, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
How often do people ask you that?
Yeah, that's
right.
fair.
So it's 2 times in one day. Pretty cool. For me, I would like to grow my brand with what I'm doing for fitness. I want my videos to continue to be very successful and popular. But I would like to make the I want to focus on the business side more. I would like the business to grow. So I would like to have a team help me execute what it is that I need to have done instead of it all being on me.
Yeah.
So pretty much through delegation, I want to grow a team to help me deliver the best training and diet for people that there is. Now, I've got a very good foundation. I train people through my training app. The new one that we have coming out, dude, is just nuts.
It's completely different one, or?
Yeah, completely different. It's nutty how good it is.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's really cool. But I'm also working on a cookbook. So that's
right.
Dude,
Davis Diley posts a lot of those little.
This cookbook that I'm working on is diet food in the form of hamburgers and breakfast sandwiches, low-calorie versions of Big Macs, Whoppers, Dave's Single, Double.
Maybe some pies.
No, not yet.
Sometimes you post about pies.
We will. We're gonna have different volumes and so forth come out. That's the plan in the future. But for now, it's gonna be low-calorie versions of fast food that we see. You know, that you wish you could still have, but you kind of want to diet and you can't. Dude, I have been dieting in a way in the past 3 months, 4 months. I've been cutting down. I've been leaning out a little bit. And dude, when the leaner you get, the harder it gets, man. Really, it's harder. So you have to find tricks to stick to it. And for me, my wife, Teresa, was, like I was getting sick of my food. She was like, why don't you try making hamburgers? And I'm like, I can't, they're high, so high calorie. I love them, but I only get to have one, I want 5, right? So I worked with her on making recipes for low-calorie hamburgers for me, and we just started going nuts with it. So now we're able to take, with almost 100% flavor accuracy, a Big Mac that is normally like 550 calories, and now it's only 250.
And not processed.
And not processed. Amazing. And part of it was through just finding alternatives to the high fat option, so it's lower fat. But anyways, I digress. This is going to be something that we incorporate into this bigger structure of the business as time goes on. So eventually, I just want to grow it into the ultimate fitness brand to help people in any way that they need.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That's to sum it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for the people that don't know, at the time being, you are editing everything. You're a one-man team,
right
essentially.
Now. Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's one of the most common comments on your post is, you gotta pay your editor way more. You gotta promote
Let the guy out of the basement. He needs to see his family, man.
Yeah, everybody's like, they can't believe it would be you that's editing.
Yeah, because most people are just meatheads, bro. They just sit around and they're just like, I don't want to do this. Send it to an editor, and that's why.
Yeah, they assume, he's just a meathead. What does he know about computers and editing video?
I do it all on my phone, dude. Yeah. Every video is edited on my phone.
Only your phone. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Well, it's because it was just out of necessity, man. Dude, I didn't have it. When I first started this, dude, I did not have any access whatsoever to any money to hire anyone. The only person I could hire after I got a little bit of money was a college kid that was at a local gym, and he's my camera guy to this day. And so he could film me, and I didn't have to pay him much at the time because he was just a broke college kid, and he's I pay him more now.
Yeah.
I do.
And you couldn't afford him when you first started.
Not really. But yeah, so I didn't have money for an editor, so I learned how to do it all on my phone. Just sitting and tinkering on Video Leap and CapCut and Photo Leap, which is another photo editing app. I figured out a way to do it, and I've had people. I've had like 3 or 4 of the biggest fitness influencers in the world reach out to me and ask me, hey, how do you do this? how do you do this? And I'm like,
editing.
bro, I'll tell you, but you ain't gonna like it, and you will not do it. Like, so I have no problem. You're not gonna want to.
Yeah. No problem giving the secrets away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, dude, it's tough. But it was an investment of time and effort for me to stand out, so that my videos were recognizable. That's all I wanted to do, was to make stuff that was helpful to people, that stood out from the crowd, that people just, they would see it and go, hey, I've seen that guy before. I recognize him. Because, you know, that helps me and my brand and everything. And it's been fun, dude, because I'll go to the gym right down the street. I live in a random place in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I go to the gym right 3 minutes from my house. Every time I go there, people are like, are you that guy? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's me. I'm the guy with the blonde eyebrows. It's cool.
Guilty as charged.
But to me, it's just funny. It's just weird. I'm just a guy who bought a camera and sat on a couch and tinkered around on his phone. And now some person is asking. It's just cool.
It's surreal.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, dude, I've clearly had success in what you're doing. You know, and you've been a part of helping me. You know, doing what I do with the music and so forth for the theme songs. But is there anybody that I'm curious? Is there anybody that you have known along the way that, you know, sort of took off with social media? Like, you know,
So in the way you did?
well, similarly, but maybe in the realm that I'm not really familiar with the music realm.
I'm trying to think. Definitely not to your level, to how much you've blown up. No.
Well, but it's pretty cool though. It's the opportunity is there.
I have just a bunch of local artists in Miami that they have some traction.
That's right. That's right. Who are those guys that you were working with? The guy with the blonde hair.
Baby City Club.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool to be able to. That's what I mean, is being able to work alongside people that take advantage of social media, and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do with my podcasting, for lack of a better word, because it's just me posting videos on my Instagram. I'm trying to draw attention with, you know, a variety of content, so people aren't bored or annoyed with just, hey, new song drop, check out my music.
Yeah, because who cares?
Like, I don't care.
Yeah, who cares, dude? See, that's the problem, man. A lot of times when people post on social media, they always go, here's me, here I am. You know, they put themselves out there, and why, as the viewer, should I care?
Yeah,
I don't. I'm sorry.
Value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what it is, man. One of the most looked over things that I see when people ask me, like, hey, what do you think of my content? You know, people ask me, and I'll go, it's cool, but I don't mean to sound rude, but like, me as the viewer, why should I stop and watch? Like, I don't care. I don't, you know, if I want to listen to good music, I can go listen to, you know, this. It's a good song.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. It's great. Why should I care? It's hard to get people to even give you the time of day at first.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get, it's like anything. It's social media, you know?
Yeah.
You don't walk into the middle of the mall and say, hey, everybody, come meet me. I'm really great.
Yeah.
And no, everybody's going to be like,
makes a lot of sense.
Get away from me, weirdo, you know?
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, but if you were to, you know, help people with what they do because you run a business or something, and you're like, okay, let me show you how to do this and this and this, it opens up the door because you're going to give value to people and they might want to interact with you. So it's like, okay, instead of just acting like that guy in the middle of the mall, you can sort of, you know, provide value to people, and then once they know that you're passionate and something that you're about, then they might want to see more of you, you know? So that's the good way to open the door.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, a lot of people overlook that. They think it's all about quality and posting regularly.
Yep.
But if the product is not needed, it's not going to sell. So yeah, like a lot of people might attribute your success to your editing, but that just helped you grow, but your core value is, this is how you do this workout, right? Providing information from an expert. You know?
Exactly. Look, if something's flashy, you look good, whatever in a video, it'll get you in the door, it'll get people to turn their head.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing there, it isn't going to amount to anything. It will not go anywhere.
Yeah, and I recognize, like, I'll watch your videos not just because I know you,
Yeah.
but because, like, oh, how do you properly do a squat? Like, no, for real, I think
Yeah.
I know how to do a squat.
Yeah.
But let me, like, take it from a strongman, and then there's just all these little details that you don't think of.
Yeah,
It really
right.
is a
Well,
science.
it's there. Their videos are great. They take a lot to. There's a lot in there. A lot to digest in one video, but at least the info is there for people who want to use it. So yeah, man.
And it is very helpful.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
And the way the way you explain things, even your tone of voice is motivating, and I'm sure you put thought in all that too.
Dude, if you knew how long it took to make a voiceover, I can't wait for AI to be so good with voiceover, which it's gotten pretty good.
Yeah.
But it can. Have you ever seen the recreation, your voice recreation? Have you ever tried that?
No, I have not
Dude,
tried it.
I did it, and it's got me speaking in Spanish like fluently, and it sounds just like me. And I'm like, what the heck?
That's amazing.
It's unreal.
Have you haven't posted any videos?
No,
like
no,
that,
I
right?
haven't, but I've just messed around with it.
Oh
But
my
dude,
God, you
it's
should.
unreal. Oh yeah, eventually I would love to, but it's a whole other. You gotta focus on it if you're gonna convert all these videos into AI dubbed with whatever. But regardless, it's a ton of work to do a voiceover. Right?
But that's one of the things you could delegate.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Is like it beats me up to do a voiceover because I want it to be perfect, right? Because it's got to match the video. The inflections are it's
the
tough.
translation needs to be.
And so, dude, that's where AI, at first at least, is coming in and relieving a lot of work for people like me who might want to do something like that and just sort of, take some of the load off for the repetitive work, like laying down a voiceover. For me, I wouldn't necessarily have to delegate that out to some random person doing a.
What's going on over there?
What is going on?
A little note.
I don't know. Anyways, that's one of the things that AI is doing. Is it's completely changing the game for repetitive tasks that are big hindrances in your workflow. So for me, I would sometimes dread certain parts of my work. It's like, I gotta do this part now, and I'm sure it's like that for you in music. And that's where AI is coming in, at least in the short term, to help. And so it can help me. What about music? Where's AI really coming in big?
There are AIs that can obviously make a whole song. It's in an infancy, but it can make a whole song based on how you describe it in text. But
is it any good? Have you tried it?
I've
you messed
seen
around?
it being done. I haven't messed around myself. It's in its infancy. I don't want to sound negative about it, but I don't want to waste my time on that because I feel like that's another career, like figuring out a computer program like that. Maybe I can draw inspiration from it. Maybe like, oh, I can't think of any vocal melodies for this instrumental I made. Let me see what the AI does.
Right.
So maybe like ways like that you can implement it. But I guess I'm more of an old-fashioned kind of person where it's like, no, a human can always do better. I stand by it.
Well,
And,
I will say, to a certain extent, I mean, it is true. There are things, well, I don't know, but I'm going to say something I think is true. Maybe not in more of the, the computer, techno, sort of electronic music realm, but in something like a band, okay, where you're playing with instruments, right? I think there comes a point where, for me, when I'm listening to it and things are just too polished, it loses some of that character.
That's why EDM is not for everybody.
Right.
Like the really, where it's all electronic.
Yeah, so that's where I'm very curious how something like AI would impact the music industry in one genre versus another. I mean, I don't know, like if AI really took off and it was able to, why wouldn't AI be way better at developing, more perfect music that is more mathematically pleasing to the mind and this and that and everything? I don't know. It'd be interesting to.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with EDM, most of the drums are very on grid.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, with live music is typically the human.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
swing.
dude, AI is probably going to get so good that you could. Of course it will be. Of course,
eventually,
it'll get so good that you could say, look, make the perfect, punk rock song, right? Something that's typically imperfect, and you could say, make the perfect punk rock song, and now make it a little imperfect as if humans were playing it, and then it would have that aspect. And I'm sure that you'd be able to do it. So I don't know what's going to be safe and what's going to not be. Safe.
And another thing people say, it's so debatable, but another thing people say is AI develops things based on what's been already done, and it just combines things from what's already been done. So it can never be truly original and that creative. It's limited by what we have as humans have done in civilization.
Do you know how AI works? Like ChatGPT?
In like
just the most basic of terms?
Terms of algorithm, if this, then that?
Yeah, well, yeah, but like how it does it? Okay, so
really.
I had a conversation. I had a conversation with ChatGPT the other day. I did.
And it told me.
It's weird, no, I'm serious. If you want to learn, it's a tremendous tool. If you have the speaking thing, like the voice version of it where you're actually speaking to it and it has a conversation you can actually use it for learning. You got to be very careful, because if you're not on point with your own base of knowledge, you can easily be led astray with it. However, I will say that I had a conversation with it and I said, okay, how do you work? Okay, and it sort of told me, I said, okay, what is a large language model? Because it was just throwing out all this information. I didn't even know. So I said, okay, and this is what it told me. I said, basically, tell me as if I was a 5-year-old, what you do and how it is. And what I came away with is essentially all of the information that's been on the internet, on the web, up to a certain point, like let's say up to like 2003, essentially the developers took it in a way and uploaded it into the ChatGPT. So essentially, it's
Everything
like if you envision a library of the biggest library in the world, the library of all the information,
An encyclopedia,
and you just took it and you threw it into the ChatGPT computer. ChatGPT now has all of that information in it, and so when you ask it a question, what it'll do is it can take that data, the database of all that info, and it can notice patterns within that data, and then it will deliver an answer to you based off of that. So if you say something like, okay, I want you to fix up this paragraph I sent you. I want you to use the perfect grammar as if William Shakespeare wrote it. It'll go through its database and say, okay, this is how Shakespeare spoke here, 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 here. These are all the interpretations of his writings here, 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 here. And what it'll do is it'll curate what you said based off of the patterns that it recognizes. And so therefore, it'll deliver it back to you. So it's like a big pattern recognition thing. Does that make sense? That's just so people know how it's getting its information and how it actually distills things down. That's how. That's my understanding.
That's what you grasp from it.
Yes, so, but it's only up to a point. It only operates off of data that is uploaded to it from a certain point back. So it's not like it's up to date today. It doesn't have all of the information up to today, as far as I know. They have different blocks of time that they upload it. So maybe in a year or two, whatever, or a year, I don't know. They'll take the most current information and they'll upload it, and now it's updated to 2025. So that's how it works.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Honestly, I don't know how many people actually know that.
Yeah, no.
I didn't. I heard the term large language model, and I'm like, dude, what?
Yeah, that sounds like when someone's trying to explain crypto and they're like, you know, the blockchain
Yeah.
and the, you know,
Right.
saving money.
I'm sure
But
that
no
it's,
one actually knows how it works.
it's above me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's much more to it than what I said, but at least it might give a little bit of an understanding. It's a good enough understanding for me to be at least moderately satisfied and not really care about it too much anymore.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's just another distraction of
Yeah.
life. Like, let the experts handle it. Like, there are people that actually know what's going on.
Yeah, there are people that pay way more closer.
Yeah,
way more close
I'm
attention to it.
gonna just focus on what I need to focus on. My music, my engineering.
Yeah, man.
And you gotta focus on this as well.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I'm trying to remember. This is the first time I even need to look down at my phone here.
That's good, man. That's a good sign.
Good. That's really good. But I want to make sure, yes, I don't forget something. All right. I want to talk about the correlation with music and fitness.
Oh yeah, man.
There's always music in the gym. There's always people with headphones. Like it's like no one can work out without music. So
Right.
I feel it's a very strong connection.
Yeah, it helps. Can.
What is your favorite type of music to listen to while you're working out?
Slipknot and Tool.
I was gonna ask you if it was Slipknot.
And Eminem. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
and all the old rap, Dr. Dre. Pretty much the Chronic 2001, that album, that style of rap. I mean,
Nice.
dude, all the old hardcore rap too, like, you know, like DMX and, you know, like not too much DMX, but, you know, Tech Nine.
I remember. you were
So
a fan of
just
Tech Nine.
just real aggressive, you know, rap, because, you know, you got to put yourself into the right frame of mind, you know.
Aggressive music typically.
Yes, it can be. It doesn't always have to be, but it can certainly help.
Because I have heard of bodybuilders training to something you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
Like some pop music.
Yeah,
even.
sometimes
I've
they
heard
do.
about that.
And a lot of people listen to, you know, EDM style music too. That doesn't do it for me, but it can do it for other people too, because there are, you know, within music, there are emotional turning points within a song that just elicit a big response from you somewhere here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but you just feel it, right? And with weightlifting, for strength training in particular, bodybuilding, this occurs, but for strength training more so, I've noticed that there is a defining moment of you need to put 100% of yourself, every fiber of your being, of who you are and what you are, into doing this activity in this 1 second right now, where this weight is not going to come up off the ground.
It's so meditative to
It
forget
can.
everything else in your life.
It can be,
You know?
dude. It is. It can be almost like an out-of-body experience. If you are operating at an extremely advanced level and you've been doing it for a long time, you get into a flow state with your lifting, with your strength training for like a big 1 repetition max, right? And so you've got this whole build-up. It's just like a song. You've got this whole build-up to this one moment where, you know, you're getting ready, you know, you're putting on your equipment, you know, you've been resting, you're all warmed up, and you're getting ready to do that big lift. And it's all a slow build until it's time to actually strap in and lift the weight. And music kind of, it parallels that. So you can sort of take the buildup of the song and time it. What I used to do is time my lifts for when the music would drop.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing when you look at some, like people at a concert, you know, and everybody's kind of building up, and then the concert goes nuts when the beat drops, right? It's the same kind of thing. But for weightlifting in particular, and look, different strokes for different folks, different songs, different styles of music work for different people. But for me, it's something, you know, real aggressive, you know, just primal sounding with like drums. Like Slipknot for me, I think, is the #1. Okay, Tool can be phenomenal as well. Different rap, like I was saying, can be great as well. But it has that moment where you just go, and it's like that feeling you feel with music. I know you have it. I know everybody listening has that feeling too, where you get real pumped up and you don't even know why. You just listen to it and it just lights you on fire. it's the same thing. And the weightlifting, you sort of piggyback on that, and it's kind of a magical experience at the highest levels once you get good at it, man.
And I love that the way you're describing it, it reminds me of how you were describing what you wanted from me in the music I've made for you. You're like, I want this build. I want the drums to slap, power and energy. And I hope I was able to deliver.
I can't tell you how many times people have asked and commented, "Where's that song? What's that song?" And I'm like, yes, I can't get it anywhere. But it was fun.
We should get it out somehow, like a little collection of Davis Diley's.
We gotta make another one too.
I
would freaking love to. That last one that you made, that was kind of that Eminem inspired one, dude, was freaking
with the
awesome.
Guitar in there.
Yeah, but I gotta say, the first one that we made, we based it off of a couple songs, sort of. The rhythm of the delivery, and it was just something that, those are two songs that just, every time I heard them, I was just like, there's something about this just makes me want to, lift.
Yeah.
And so we got to do that again.
Yeah, and we need to put out the full version so that people can.
People are gonna start using it in their videos. Hey, good for you.
That too, but also.
But people will recognize it by now as my song.
Yeah, but also I think it'd be really cool for people that, your followers, they'll want to be like Davis Diley and take it to the gym and be like, oh, this is Davis Diley's song. Let me harness.
Yeah, dude.
His energy. And
well, dude, that's actually, it's funny you mention that, because that actually was something that we used to do. From watching guys who used to compete in strongman on YouTube way back in the day. They had songs that they would have over their music, or over their video, and when you would listen to that song, it would put you in that frame of mind, just because it was associated with that figure that you loved to watch, and that video really motivated you. So absolutely.
The music in and of itself can bring the motivation and make the video that much better without you realizing. It's a very unconscious thing.
Yeah, dude.
But speaking of rock music, by chance, did you hear the latest thing I put out?
No.
My latest song? It's a rock song.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was hoping maybe you'd seen it, but not yet.
I didn't,
because
man.
I know how much you like Slipknot.
I love it. Yeah.
And I was like, it's not that heavy.
Yeah.
But I'll show you the song later or whatever. But,
dude, it'd be cool.
It's really cool. I made it with a friend, Karla Sro, and so it's a female vocalist over hard rock song.
Oh, cool. Oh, so, that reminds me of the new Linkin Park singer, right?
Dude,
oh, wait a second. I think I may have heard it.
You did?
I don't know if I'm thinking about the new Linkin Park singer or.
Because she's blonde also.
I don't know. I'd have to see it. It's all a blur to me.
We made this song before that came out. That lead singer came out, Emily Armstrong. So it's funny. Like, I knew that there was going to be like a correlation there, and people might be like, "Oh, you did it because Linkin Park brought a female vocalist out," but.
Who cares, dude? What?
I haven't had anybody say that, but I thought.
Forget them. Screw them.
Yeah, no one said that I know of anyway. But I just thought it was funny that it was like around the same time. It's
What do you think of her, by the way? What do you think of the new sound?
The new singer.
The new sound overall of Linkin Park.
Well,
coming from. Linkin Park fan,
like huge.
Dude, they're so good.
They're the reason why I do music, essentially.
By the way, they are also one of the best. I have to mention them. For me, lifting, one of the best. I got to put them in the top 3, 4 for rock. Nice. Absolutely.
And they're my favorite.
But anyways, what do you think?
Nothing will ever beat the first.
Of course not.
Few albums.
No, of course not, dude.
That's what I'm just hung up on, that sound. Having said that, I do really like their latest album compared to the past few, especially the first song they launched, The Emptiness Machine. That song's awesome.
What was that really one album? The last one that they made was with Battle Symphony.
Like the previous?
No, album? But it had like kind of a rainbowy color, ocean on the cover.
That's why I'm not sure. Because I hadn't really kept up with the previous few albums because I wasn't
I'm gonna
resonating
find it.
with them.
Let me see. But yeah, it's. Let me see. It's there are only a couple songs on it that I enjoyed. Most of them were not really my style, but yeah, I don't see it. Oh yeah, one more light.
Oh.
That was it. And the song I was thinking of, yeah, Battle Symphony, yeah. Yeah, they sort of changed their tune quite a bit, you know, going into the later albums.
Which is
there.
totally fair. Like,
Yeah,
as an artist, you want to.
But what do you think?
Things.
What something that was always difficult for me with music growing up is when I had a band that I listened to, and I would, you fall in love with their music, with how it is, and then over time, when they typically, and probably they should evolve, they sort of depart from what you used to love, and then you sort of. At least me, I had a hard time going along with them on that journey because you sort of miss the way that it was. Because it's associated with all the memories that you have with that song and the sound. And I don't know, I always had, because I experience it from my side of things as a creator. I'm not creating in music, I'm creating in videos and fitness content. But I look back and I have to change. I can't keep doing the same things.
Yeah.
Just like they feel the drive to change, that they can't keep doing the same things either. But I just remember being the listener and wishing that they would just keep the same sound. It was perfect. Why are you changing?
Yeah.
But you don't. On that side, on the listening side of things, you're not able to. You're not working with the same info they have. They're humans. They gotta keep they gotta keep it going.
Yeah. You can't be selfish.
Yeah.
But you can have that feeling of loss, but you can't expect them to, appease to you.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
Very interesting, man.
Is this a good way to close out?
Yeah, I think so, man.
I was trying to think if there's one more thing wanted to mention. Because I imagine we'll probably do this again sometime.
Sure, dude.
Eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The really cool thing that happened for you. Congratulations, the pre-workout.
Oh,
your
dude.
own pre-workout.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't mention that this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
It's so relevant and current.
I know,
right
dude.
now.
It's so cool, man. Again, the company that sponsored me, it was the first company that ever reached out to me, which I thought was just cooler and crap.
That's how you got it? It came to you?
Well, yeah. I mean, the company was real small at first, Ryse Supplements. When I first started working with them, I saw that there was definitely, potential for them to get bigger. And I knew that they saw the writing on the wall. They were involved in social media. They knew what good social media was when TikTok started. And so I wanted to be a part of a company that understood that. I didn't want to be with an old dinosaur company that was sort of going downhill.
Yeah.
Right? So I signed on with Ryse. They believed in me. The CEO actually at the time reached out to me and was trying to get me to sign on with them, which...
That's awesome.
That shows how small of a company it was.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's grown.
You grow together.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That's great.
But the company has become the most popular supplement company in the world. It is the most recognizable. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Ryse Supplements is known as being the best tasting protein and all this. I'm not trying to sell it right now. I'm just saying it's just cool to be a part of that.
I know it because of you, but I didn't know it was
it's in all these stores
popular.
now, dude. You can get it at Walmart and Target. If you're in Walmart and Target, you made it. Okay?
Yeah.
Across the entire country. But anyways, they called me up about a year and a half ago and they're like, you ready for your own signature pre-workout? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And so it took about a year and a half of development.
Do you have
I got tubs. I got tubs inside, but yeah, they're I've got several of them. I'll sling you one.
Does it say Davis Diley?
Yeah, dude, it does. It's so freaking cool. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, I want to put it right here.
Yeah, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me get it.
It's put it right here.
All right. There you go, sir.
This is for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so cool. And
Davis Tropic Twist.
Yeah, Davis's Tropic Twist. So I'm sitting there.
This is so cool.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, this.
Is it catered to your taste? Did you get to
Yeah,
kind of
so
decide?
it took a year and a half, almost 2 years to come up with this. So pretty much I wanted a Miami Vice style flavor. And, you know, it just came out amazing. Dude, it's so smooth. It's almost a shame that this is caffeinated. Like, I just wish I could drink it, okay? Like, I just want this flavor.
Okay.
That's how good it is, man.
I'm thirsty. I want to just drink it.
But it's just honestly, man, it's just a blessing, really. I mean, seriously, because like again, I'm just sitting there on my phone, posting videos, learning how to edit, posting it out there. People are watching it, and then this type of a thing happens to me. You know, so that's the kind of thing, man. You just work your hardest, bro, and you know, you go on your journey like I was saying. You chart your path, you think you're going here, and then eventually you choose to go over here, and life takes you on that journey, but sometimes just cool things happen to you along the way, and that's why I got several of these things, because I just want to have one of these, like when I'm like 70, I just want to look at it and go, dang, that was cool.
Yeah, like
that's it, man.
Good part of your life.
Yeah, man,
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
something to be proud of.
Yeah, man, very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a better way to to finish this episode.
You gonna take a scoop?
I should right now.
Yeah, don't you take a scoop? Let me get you on the gun here, because we're gonna get a little workout in, right?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta have a little.
Stay
fun.
tuned.
Yeah. Let me just get just a little.
Just
a little
get the
more.
full.
Yeah, you're not gonna sleep tonight.
Oh,
All right, here.
Shit, that's right.
No, but seriously,
That's
taste
good.
that, man.
That's so
Taste it.
convenient.
Enjoy yourself.
Man, here.
Yeah, slug it down.
It even smells good.
Yeah, dude. Now tell me that's not freaking good, man.
Wow. I feel like I'm on vacation. Is coconut in there?
Yeah, it's got a little. It's Miami Vice, so it's coconut, pineapple, strawberry, and dude, for a pre-workout, dude, that's good. That's damn good.
That is damn good.
For a freaking dude, those things normally they taste. Normally you're just gagging the dang things down, but the nice thing about it is the flavor is not annoying. A lot of times they're so in your face that you're just
strong.
like, they're cool for like 1 or 2 servings, and I get sick of it and I want to throw the tub away after a while. But that legitimately is a flavor that I can just go, dang, dude, that's good so every freaking time.
That's so great.
Yeah, man.
And that reminds me of kind of a little idea I thought of. I don't know if it's good or not, but what does daily dose of Davis Diley sound like?
What does that mean?
Daily dose of Davis Diley.
What do you mean?
So I was thinking like that could be the name of your podcast sessions.
Yeah, your daily dose of dose of Davis Diley. People are like, I only need a little bit of that before I want to freaking get rid of it.
You know, so you could correlate that.
Hope the dose is low.
You could correlate that with the pre-workout and like the name of your show.
That's actually pretty funny, man.
Right? Like,
well, you know what?
It may be comical.
I don't, dude, I'm serious. I wouldn't mind starting a podcast one day. I genuinely enjoy it. I love having a real conversation with people who want to have a conversation, because I'm not the kind of person that likes to go to a big gathering with tons of people, like in, little conversations here or there where you're yelling and they can't even hear you and they're yelling back at you, and I hate that. Like a party. Like I hate parties. I like hanging out, chilling, one-on-one, couple people. And so, yeah, I might actually get into it, man.
Yeah.
This has inspired me.
That's great. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that. Because, I was like, he would need a name if you ended up doing your own podcast.
Daily dose of Davis Diley. Wow.
Like, maybe you can elaborate
D-cubed,
or simplify it.
Yeah, so it'd be 4D.
That's why, like, DDD. Maybe it's a little too much of a tongue twister. Yeah. Like maybe it could just be daily dose of Diley.
Daily dose of Davis. That's what I was saying. Like
daily dose of Davis.
Yeah.
Diley.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Well,
just
there you go.
Just wanted to throw that idea out.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're gonna take that. We're gonna put it into the bank. We'll keep it in there for consideration.
To think about it.
But anyways, you want to get a workout in, man?
I am down.
All right.
Especially with this.
All right. Let's do it, man.
Dude.
Yeah, bro. Thank you.
Let's get it.
All right.